Okay, we're gonna trust the process.
We're gonna trust the process.
Let's trust the process. All right, are you ready?
Hello, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Cool. Welcome to the first episode of this crazy idea that I just had literally 3 days ago. And I'm so happy that my friend Kyle here is crazy enough to do it with me. So this is the first episode of a podcast that doesn't have a name just yet,
Oh, we'll come up with a
but
name.
we'll get to that.
That'll be great.
And I just have a few cool plans to do in this project, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope this helps our community grow together. And I'm sure I'm gonna make a bunch of mistakes, so be nice. But here we go.
Be nice. Let's
All right.
be kind to each other. It's important.
And what a treat to begin this beautiful project with one of my closest friends, Kyle Ray, amazing singer-songwriter. Kyle, just please give us a little bit of your story to begin with. Yeah.
Sure, of course. Hello, my name is Kyle Ray. I'm born and raised in Massachusetts. Grew up there for 22 years. I am a writer and a singer and a lover, not a fighter. And I have been a lover of music since I first. I'm gonna do that again. And I've been a lover of music since I first had memories. I used to listen to country music with my dad for years when I was young, just riding around in his pickup truck. Very quickly gained an ear for storytelling. Slowly started to sing, and we discovered that I could. Slowly started to write, and I discovered that I could too. I grew my sort of artist identity over many years, moved out to LA after college, and now here we are in the big city, and some things are happening, and I'm gaining some movement, and I'm very happy with where things are. So
That's amazing. You were talking about slowly discovering that you were also interested not only as a fan but now as a creator to start making some songs for yourself.
yeah.
Do you have any particular memory of when you start to listen to that writing voice instead of just being a fan?
Yeah. From a young age, I would just sort of almost mimic what I was hearing on the radio, except it was stuff that I was making up. I would do little things going do 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 do. As young as 6 years old. In fact, that little motif that I just sang was from when I was very, very small. I was 6 or 7, and I would just hum that to myself. And I knew it was my own little thing. I even had little lyrics with it. They didn't make sense. It was piano, piano, I will always love you. Will you always love me too? And I don't know where I got it from, but that was a very early instance of me just having no choice but to make it up, because it was this thing I gravitated toward. And then as I got a little bit older and into middle school and slowly into high school, I realized that I had something of a knack for it. I loved prose writing, short stories, and even a novel I wrote once, as well as songwriting specifically. And it's been 15 years now that I've been writing songs in a serious capacity, and I'm proud of the progress I've made, to say the least.
Well, thank you. That's very inspiring. Whenever you are writing, of course, this is something that is kind of a magical process on its own, but everybody's kind of different about it.
Yeah.
I know from our collaborations you are very lyrical oriented.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you think makes a difference between maybe something you're writing and a lyric that maybe feels too personal and maybe you're afraid to say it? Have you ever had an experience like that, where when do you know a lyric is strong enough for you to share it, but maybe sometimes you have found any opportunities where you're I don't know if I'm ready to share this? You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's always things that feel like maybe they're too much of a hot stove to touch when you're singing. To some extent, I think we each as artists explore what we feel sort of comfortable bringing to the surface in the moment. I feel like there are certain things that we're ready to write about now, and certain things that we might not be ready to write about for 5 years. And finding the pocket such that the song can flow as you figure out what's comfortable for you. Is a really beautiful part of the process. And I think there's real value in being courageous enough to say something blunt, something real, something that almost jolts the listener, maybe wakes them up for a minute. There's something really powerful about using really flowery language and then just saying something devastating, something, oh, the days, the nights, they come and they go. I'm so sad I can't get out of bed. You know what I mean? Like something where you just like, ooh, you like jolt the listener for a second. You can move into this territory of like, oh, I know what that feels like, and I know what that is. And through that courage, find other people who maybe can relate to the thing that you don't want to talk about, the thing that you have trouble writing down. And that's one of many ways that we heal from the things that bother us so much. So all in time, everybody figures it out in their own way, but songwriting is a beautiful tool for one's own healing. I really believe that.
Amazing. You've mentioned 15 years already writing songs.
Yeah, at least. More like, God, 17 now. 14 was when I really got like serious about writing songs. And in a roundabout way, since I was like a little boy, really starting to try.
Is there any particular theme that keeps haunting you, keeps coming back without you really trying? Like you're just sitting down just to vibe to something and then you keep writing about the same topic maybe, or...
Oh, interesting. Sometimes I'm a very existential person, and I like to think about like my place in the universe and kind of why we're all here, and so I find that sort of like elements of like life and death creep into songs that I'm doing. I might have a love song or a song about how nice of a day I had today, and there are little moments. I might have a moment where I mention something about a Western horizon, kind of almost offhand, and it's not like the point of the song, but it's meant to acknowledge sort of like, you know, when I'm old and gray and I'm looking back, you know, and I'm headed toward my Western horizon or something, I want to remember you and the love that we shared, or I want to remember this day and how much fun I had with you. And so I find, I guess, elements of the philosophical and of the you know, even very real sometimes permeating what I do. And I like to lean into it. I guess I don't apologize for it because I do think that there are you know, many sort of existential moments that we just have in our everyday life that we just sort of encounter and get used to. And so it's natural, I think, if that sort of creeps into your art as well.
Definitely. The little things that you have shared, I mean, you have shared a lot with me. It also happens to know that we are roommates, right?
Roommates for years.
We've been at this thing together for a few years now, so we've gotten close, and I know a little bit of the story. You're coming from a town in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And in that town, you were trying to pursue this dream from an early age, and you had your first producer, let's call it.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, I would love to tell you about Donnelly all night and all day. Yes, there's a very famous story just in my family among my loved ones that I did a karaoke contest when I was 13 years old in a small town in Granby, Massachusetts. I'm from South Hadley, but Granby's our neighbor. And it was essentially a county fair. There was a karaoke contest for kids. And I got up on stage and I sang Josh Groban's You Raise Me Up. And there was a judge in the audience who was like not supposed to be showing favorites, I think, but she like gave me this standing ovation. And then she's such a character and she's such a dear friend. Crawled over on her hands and knees so as not to be seen to my mother and was like, I would like to coach your son. I'm a producer and a coach in the area. And my mom was like, get up. We can talk up here. And we started a wonderful journey together that really kind of shaped me at a crucial adolescent time. She did Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn tributes in the area, so she would have me open for her as Kyle Ray, doing both cover songs and slowly originals as I started writing them. We were in a Fleetwood Mac tribute band for 5 years. It was a wonderful time. Really helped to shape me as an artist and really helped to sort of ground me in what I wanted. It wasn't so much the fame and fortune abstractly that appealed to me as it was the sort of rustic, like just making music with these sometimes older people. I was like a teenager and everyone in Donnelly's band, they were all like truck drivers in their 50s and 60s, and they were just the coolest and most talented people I've ever met, and really sparked like what I hope is a lifelong love of playing live music. And so that was a really special time. And then I went off to college and moved out to LA right after college. And so there was sort of a crucial window where Donnelly really helped me like find my sound and myself. And that's always an ongoing process, but those were like those crucial years when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick second just to talk about the sponsor of this video, which is the Lab Studios. We are a studio located in Studio City, and we offer everything from recording, mixing, and mastering. We're also Atmos certified, so if you have any questions or inquiries, feel free to reach out. We can also offer you 15% off on your first project with us. Now, back to the video. coming from a small town and having some sort of notoriety and moving out now to the big city where a lot of people do the classic story.
Yeah.
I have seen you going through your own like phases as an artist. Now you are doing the same bootcamp I did a few years ago, which is
Yes.
LAMP,
Shout out
right?
to Lamp. Yes, I'm a student this year.
And now that you are like the thesis of this program is that now you are in a boot camp where you make a song every week and you kind
Yeah.
of like have industry people listening, right,
Yeah.
and giving you actual feedback.
Honing your craft, becoming among the professionals, trying to make them your peers.
I wonder something very particular because I was wondering about that about myself. What has been your relationship with validation coming from a place where it was like maybe smaller, you know, more suburban, and having a producer being so excited, and now elevating your career to coming to a big city, and now having this kind of like clash of ideas now with people we respect
Yeah.
and with people we admire and we want to be like them. What do you think that has made for your own like sense of self? And I guess validation is a good term because you know like we're here, we're doing it.
Especially we as creatives, we throw ourselves into a life that people tell us we're crazy for. That's never going to make us money, and unless we are as lucky as it's possible to get. And so I think we naturally want the validation that we're sane and we're right to believe in ourselves. I've had an extremely complicated relationship with believing in myself. I don't mind saying. Generally speaking, you know, the whole reason I came to LA was because I did believe in myself. I thought that I was good and that there was something special there, and that I could continue to develop it. And in terms of my relationship with Lamp specifically, I was delighted on two fronts. One, I was delighted to see all the ways that I felt like maybe I actually was right. That these people, you know, who have no debt to me, they don't have to tell me that they are rooting for me, but they do because they are. And it's really sweet, you know. And in particular at Lamp, we make, you know, dear friends. Some friends who I hope to be lifelong friends, who really kind of help to see us for who we are, both as people and as creatives, and also in turn for us to see them for who they are. And so that's kind of the first front is the feeling like, oh, there are certain things I'm actually really good at here, and things that I really contribute that not even everybody does. I have my strengths in that regard. And then on the second front is when I do find a weakness of mine or a gap in my knowledge or something that I just cannot do as well as the student next to me. I'm very grateful that at least where I am now in my life, having a few more years under my belt, having been in the city for a minute, in the industry for a minute, this lack of shame and this lack of judgment when there are moments that are not so validating. When you see somebody who can execute a riff with more agility than you can, or who can play an instrument just better than you ever could, or just who maybe is really quick with coming up with very viable song ideas that really kind of wrench your heart. I think it would be so easy, especially if I'd been doing this maybe a little bit younger in my life. I think it would have been so easy to get in my head and say, oh my God, this just shows that like there's no way that I can do it. But instead, I am grateful to be in a place in my life where it's exciting to not know. It's exciting for there to be gaps in my knowledge. It's exciting to be sitting next to somebody who can do things I can't do. Because the most important thing is that you understand and hone what your strengths are, and where you have weaknesses, which you will, because we all do, you can rely on others. And to kind of bring it all home with the theme of validation, I think the most validating thing at Lamp is like the strength of the friends that I make art with and the collaborative element.
Yeah.
I think the most validating thing in the world is knowing not only can I write by myself if I want to, but I can get into a room with people and not only feel valuable and included, but also just have like the time of my life. And I think that's what's been kind of the nicest reflection that I'm on like the right path doing this.
Definitely. I wonder, something that happened to me is, I mean, I come from a very different background. You know, I didn't grow up being a musician. I was a DJ. Like I was
Yeah.
in music in a very different area, and I had like
counts.
education as like a engineer and all of that. And
Yeah.
I've always growing up, my relationship with creativity would be where people will tell me, oh, you need to know the rules to break them, and they're not necessarily completely wrong about it. But then
Yeah.
that set me up for a path of like, oh, I need to learn first before I get the chance to create, before I give myself
Sure.
permission to
Yeah.
create, right? And after many many years of quote unquote like looking and finding the answers that I was looking for, I've once I got to the point where I was in the room with the same people that I admired, that I'm like, oh my God, these people are crazy. I have experienced something that I think maybe I'm not the only one, hopefully, where I see that, and of course they are incredible, they are stars, but it humanizes them in such a way that I believe I can do it too.
Of course.
You know, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like counterintuitive because you're like, oh, now I'll know the secrets. When the secret is there's no secret. You know, you just
There
gotta
is
do
no
it.
secret.
You just gotta go
Yeah.
through it. And to me, that was like a very human way to be like, yes, my heroes are my heroes, but I also like in the room with them, I can feel like hopefully I have what it takes to be one of them one day. And that was like a very, very fulfilling feeling, you know?
It's wild to get a little bit older and to realize that the heroes of our childhoods and people that we really admire in the industry are in the best way, just like us.
Exactly.
I think it's really humbling all around. I think it's humbling in an uplifting way for emerging artists to have the opportunity to meet with industry people and realize, oh, you have strengths and weaknesses, I have strengths and weaknesses, and there's actually a world in which we could complement each other. You don't really seem that different from me. Or maybe you've been at it longer, but at the end of the day, if you'll pardon the phrase, like, your shit stinks, and mine does as well, you know, I mean, sorry, Mom. But it's really true, and it's worth remembering, I think, I hope, for those who have even more success than we do, that at the end of the day, it's all about the love of the game. It's all about your fellow human beings and friendships. Ultimately, networking is just friends. Never forget that. And yeah, if there's any secret, if I had to define a secret, it's not really a secret, but it's just like, get to the rooms where it's happening. You will be amazed, and sometimes that does mean moving to New York or moving to LA or Nashville or what have you, if you can, if you have the privilege, and just participating, just doing it. Yeah. That's the only secret. It's not even a secret, because you're right, there are no secrets.
The one thing I would add to that just is when you walk into those rooms, you need to walk as that they're been waiting for you. Like, you need to walk in like you got it.
You need to walk in believing in yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. You need to believe in you before anyone else will. And if you're struggling, it's okay. But
Yeah.
come back to you. That should be step one, is you believe in yourself.
Because I remember having early sessions where first, before even being a producer or anything, just as an engineer, you know, a little bit of my story has been a bit turbulent in this industry, and a lot of the times I have been just thrown at projects,
Into the
at
deep
sessions,
end.
and I'm just like, I don't even know if I have the skills, you know, because I was,
You're about to.
you know, I was being nervous about it.
Yeah.
I'm also being super blessed to have a great mentor like Joel Numa. He's been a big
Joel.
brother. He's the owner of his studio. He has taken me under his wing, and just to be able to see very closely this man just work and how he handles clients and he handles like how the projects and makes decisions on the spot has given me a unique perspective of how to move. But at the same time, at the end of the day, once it's me on the chair, it's me on the chair, and I need to believe that, okay, now I got it. It's my time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're with big people, you're people that you're like, these people are amazing, and they
Yep.
are, and you can
breaths.
feel a little bit like nervous about it. And I don't think that's necessarily all wrong, because that nervous
No.
energy keeps you on your knees, keeps you active. But
your
at the
toes.
same time, you need to step into these rooms like believing like, I'm here because I deserve to be here.
Yeah. And that's what's so crucial, I think. I think you make a couple good points, but that's what's so crucial about the believing in yourself is you will have a moment where opportunity meets preparation, and you will have to deliver. Somebody who is important to you or who you look up to will ask you to show them something, to sing or to give them a song. And you might be terrified, but it's okay to be terrified because you believe in yourself, and you might be shaking like a leaf. And if you're shaking like a leaf, they'll probably see that you're shaking like a leaf and filter through that to see what the actual nugget of gold is, if it's there. And so if you find yourself in a position where something's happening, something's moving, and you're terrified, come back to believing in yourself. I really think that is all that you need. And to your point about having a mentor, I think that's the other thing is there are times when we feel like it's just us on a stage in a spotlight, metaphorically, and it's like, put up or shut up. Can you do this, or are you packing it in and going home, telling your family, sorry, I shouldn't have tried to be a musician, or I'm done trying, or whatever. But there are also times when you are not doing this alone, and having mentors, having peers who have mentor moments with you, and you mentor moments with them, and then of course, if you're blessed enough to have a true mentor, like I did with Donna Lee, like you've had with Joel, those are the people who are going to take you even to the next level and kind of take you under their wing. So always recommend to people try
Definitely.
to find somebody, or maybe even a generation up, who can show you the ropes, and
Yeah.
don't be afraid to lean into them.
Definitely. I wonder, in the whole story of like Kyle Ray, the evolution,
Yeah.
what have you seen as a risk that maybe you needed to take earlier? That in hindsight you're like, it was not as big as it was not as a big of a deal as that I thought.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I do think I have an answer. I would say trusting that I am enough, which you can take many ways, and I mean it in many ways. But in particular, I'm bringing it up in the context of my versatility and my inability to decide exactly what lane of music to choose. Like I said, I grew up listening to country music, but also loved musical theater, loved more traditional pop, got into the Fleetwood Mac tribute band, and so was doing rock music. I love a lot of different music, jazz and soul and all kinds of stuff. So I would be scared about like pigeonholing myself. Everybody told me I needed to choose a lane. And to some extent it is helpful to pick a lane initially so that people can kind of be introduced to you. But if you're trying to do what I'm trying to do, which is sort of sell yourself as the project, and or rather sell an artist version of yourself that has elements of the real you in it, you have to allow yourself to be fluid and to change, and to trust that those that care enough to be your fan and to follow you, they will come with you on the journey. It's less about, oh, I'm going to be a country artist and stay that forever. Oh, I'm going to only do rap. I'm only going to do hip hop. Throw out a wide net and see what works, or choose a lane, and then after 6 months the lane's not working, and pick another lane. But always coming back, like I said, to that fundamental believing in yourself, and believing that people will care about you even if the music and the art around you changes.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of my last questions is, if somebody discovers you like in 20 years from now with zero context of who you are, just like the algorithm like found Kyle Ray, and they play a song, maybe the song that you're gonna share with us later today, what is one thing you wish they would understand about it?
That if they come away entertained, that's enough for me. That I would love it if they remember me for the rest of their life. I would love it if the whole world remembers me for the rest of their lives. But ultimately, I love to entertain. And I do think that a big part of my life and a big part of my personality is the hope of making somebody laugh, or the hope of bringing a tear to somebody's eye at a moment that they need it with a particularly powerful song. And so, yeah, I would just hope that they were entertained. I would hope that they enjoyed it for what it was in the moment, even if they never remember it again. And that's sort of my reaching across time to connect with them and be connected with. So.
To close, talk a little bit about the song you're gonna perform.
Yes, I'm going to do Power. Power. This song was prompted to us at LAMP in the early weeks of the first semester. We were challenged to write a song that takes a particular stance. And I don't mind saying I'm a gay man. I'm a queer man. I care very much about queer rights. I believe that not all queer rights are safe right now. It's something that makes me very emotional sometimes, and makes me think about all the ways that I can channel my feelings into my art, and maybe make people feel a little bit less alone, a little bit less unsafe, and a little bit more empowered. And so that's what we're going to do tonight.
Thank you, Kyle.
So, you're welcome. Thank you.
Well, let's jump into the booth now.
We'll see you at home. Yes.
All right. Perfect.
Mwah. Yay, very nice. That was fun. I like interviews. Said to my mother, can I wear your high heel shoes? She said, do what you're gonna, but that's not what little boys do. People gonna talk and they'll whisper till their face is blue. Don't pay them no mind. When you shine, you'll find pa-da-pa-pa-power. Pa-da-pa-pa-power. Talk about it, we'll talk about it for hours. Pa-da-pa-pa-power. Man on the TV doesn't wanna see me